My name's Molly. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Purpose, where we talk about just that. What's our purpose for being on this planet? Why are we even here? And if you've been following along with me, you know what I think. I think there's two reasons why we exist on this earth. Number one, to love God. Number two, love each other. That is so hard. It's so hard to love other people, especially when they tick you off. And God knew that. He knew it wouldn't be easy for us, so He gave us help. He gave us the Bible. And if you've been following along with me, we left off last time in Genesis chapter 4, verse 17. We were talking about Cain and Abel, Adam and Eve's boys. And Cain had just killed his brother, and God exiled him. Not forever. It never said that he couldn't come back. But he left, and we're going to find out what happened to Cain. So Cain left, and he got married, and he had a son. And in the Bible, it talks about all of his generations. So-and-so had so-and-so, so-and-so had so-and-so. And they went through Cain's genealogy a little bit, talking about all the boys that he had. And they got to old Lamech. And Lamech had 2 wives. Well, that tells us that polygamy has entered the world. God never intended for people to have 2 wives. If they did, I'm sure Adam would have had more than 1 wife. I think this is just my interpretation, but I believe that we're meant to be with one other person. And so now we know that in Cain's line, people started to have more than 1 wife. And I think that's important that they put that here. I don't think they throw anything in the Bible all willy-nilly. I think that's there for a reason. So Lamech had 2 wives, and it talked about all the people in the line. And it said, let's see, so-and-so lived in tents and had cattle. And then his brother's name was Jubal, and he was the father of those who play the lyre and the pipe. Then it talked about some people who forged instruments of bronze and of iron. So things are important to Cain's people. What they have, what they own, material stuff, is important to Cain's descendants. And then Lamech said, I have slain a man for wounding me. So somebody hurt him. I don't know if it was on purpose or not. Somebody slapped him or hit him or tripped him or accidentally hurt him or hurt him financially. I don't know how. But somebody wounded Lamech. They hurt him. So what did Lamech do? He killed him. He killed that person, and he was proud of it. He was proud because nobody is going to hurt him. Nobody is going to make a fool of him. Nobody is going to take any of his stuff. So he killed him. Pride is big in Lamech, and he was very proud of the fact that nobody is going to take advantage of them. He even said, I have slain a man for wounding me, a young man for striking me. So it wasn't even somebody old. It was a kid, a young person. And he said, if Cain is avenged 7-fold, truly Lamech 77-fold. So there's a lot in there. Numbers mean a lot in the Bible. 7 is usually about completion or covenant. Something has come to an end, or there's a covenant between 2 things. And Lamech's saying, by not letting anybody take advantage of him, boy, he has been avenged 77 times. Well, that 77 times is kind of important, because if you go to Matthew, oh boy, let me find it. Matthew chapter 18, verse 22, Peter is asking Jesus, how many times should I forgive somebody? So, Jesus, let's just say somebody ticks me off. All right, I know I need to forgive them for that. But how many times? If they do the same thing again, do I have to forgive them again? What if they do it again? Do I have to forgive them again? So Peter's wanting numbers here. How many times do I have to forgive them, Jesus? Maybe let's say 7? And Jesus said, 70 times 7. You never stop forgiving people. You always forgive them. 70 times 7. Lamech just said that he was avenged 77-fold. 7 times 70. I think that's what that means. Yeah, just got lost in my head there. Jesus is fulfilling, he's completing this. Lamech's talking about anger and revenge, and you're going to get them 70 times 7. And Jesus is saying, no, you do the opposite. You forgive 70 times 7. So I think that's important. That where Cain's line is all about material stuff and getting ahead and not letting anybody take advantage of you. And if somebody hurts you or somebody does you wrong, boy, you better get them back. And Jesus is saying, no, you got to forgive them. Even if you were right, even if you have every reason in the world to be mad at them, we still have to love God and love each other, which is like impossible to do. It's impossible for us to do that on our own. So we have to turn to God for help with that. We have to ask him to touch our heart and let us forgive people. Let us learn to love people. And it might take a whole lifetime. You know, if somebody's really hurt you bad, it might take a whole lifetime of asking God for help. And then we go on to find out what happened to Adam and Eve. So Cain got exiled. Adam and Eve are back home, very sad, without their boys. They had another baby. They had Seth. Seth was their baby boy, and that's the lineage. That's the line that Jesus is going to come from. He'll come from Seth's line. And Seth had a son named Enosh, and at that time, men began to call upon the name of the Lord. So usually we don't call to God for help unless things are going bad here on earth. You know, you don't usually call to God unless you need help with something. So things are probably getting a little bad on earth. And people are starting to pray. They're starting to call to God in Seth's line. Cain's line, they're materialistic, all about themselves. And you can do that. You can choose to go either way. But you won't have happiness and peace, I don't think, unless you follow Seth's line. It wasn't saying that Seth's line wasn't having problems and that they didn't have illness and injury and death. It wasn't saying they weren't sad. It was just saying they keep going to God. And that's all life's about, right? We're going to fall down all the time, just like Adam and Eve, just like Cain and Abel. Although I hope we're not killing anybody. But we're going to fall down. We're going to walk away from God. We're going to mess up left, right, and sideways. At least I know I am. You may not, but I know I am. I can't even get through a day without doing something wrong. The point is not about not getting mad. It's about what you do with your anger. We talked about that in a couple of videos. It's not about messing up. It's not about, we should never get jealous. We should never get angry. We should never do this and that. It's not about that. It's about when we start to feel mad, go to God with it. When we start to feel jealous, go to God with it. When people are starting to tick us off and our patience is wearing thin, just stop. Just stop right there. Take a breath and say, oh, dear Lord, please fill me with your love and your strength and your wisdom because I'm having trouble down here and I need your help. And he's going to take some of that anger and sadness and break it up. Now, like I said, this is going to take a lifetime for me to do. It's nothing that happens overnight, believe me, at least for me. But I truly, truly, truly believe that it's not about being right. It's not about being on top. It's not about, nobody's taking advantage of me, boy. It's about going to God, talking things over with him. I'm not saying I need to lay down like a doormat and just let people take advantage of me. That's not right. But I'm saying when I start to get mad or angry or jealous or greedy or selfish or any of those other vices, anything, I need to stop and turn back to God, because I don't want to be Cain. I don't want to walk away from God. I'd rather be with God and be humble and have somebody maybe take advantage of me, have somebody think they got one over on me, than be away from God. Ooh, I lost my train of thought there. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. And I hope you enjoyed the story of Cain and Abel. And as you go through your day to day, just kind of think about that. Think about, do I want to be right? Do I want to come out on top all the time? Do I want other people to, I don't know, bow down to me or look at all my stuff and think, wow, she really made it. Look at that big house. Look at her car. Look at her fancy stuff. Or do I want to be close to God? And I'm not saying you can't have all that stuff and be close to God, but you got to figure out what's important to you. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to think about Cain and Abel. Think about what's important to me. Is it being away from God or with Him? And being with Him sometimes means you have to swallow your pride and be humble, and that's a tough one to do. So I hope you enjoyed this, and next time we get together, we're going to see what's going on in the world after Cain and Abel. What's happening down on earth? Is everybody getting along? I hope you have the best day today, everyone. Bye-bye.